I hate birthdays. Well, not all birthdays, but definitely my birthdays. Have you ever felt anxious or even depressed around the time of your birthday, leading up to it, on the day of, and also maybe even afterwards? If you have, you're definitely not alone. This is a phenomenon called birthday blues or birthday depression, and it is common in people who have mood disorders or who have tendencies to experience anxiety and or depression. In this video, I'm going to talk about the 4 top reasons why birthday depression or the birthday blues happen and what you can do about it. And I'll also share my own experience, my own story with dealing with the birthday blues, which I've had since the age of 8, and how I finally overcame it using a very powerful method called family constellations. So stay tuned and keep watching. Hi, my name is Ritu, and on this channel we talk about mental health and relationships and the interdependence of the two, how working on one can help fix the other. If this is important to you, please subscribe. Birthday blues, it really is a thing, and I have been suffering from it since the age of 8. 8 was the biggest milestone and a very clear memory that I have of my 8th birthday, when things just started to go downhill and birthdays became torturous. It came back again at the age of 28. My 28th birthday triggered an actual clinical depression that lasted 1 month, and it catapulted me into my spiritual journey. It again hit me very hard at age 32 and again at age 35, 1 year after I became a mom. Now I'm about to have my 39th birthday in less than a week, and I am literally freaking out. I have been not sleeping well in the last week or 2. I have been anxious without any apparent reason to be anxious, and I have been feeling depressed without even realizing that I've been depressed, because, as I said, there's no apparent reason for it, which has been affecting my parenting, my keeping up with the house, my emotional state. I've broken down crying in front of my kids, all things leading to difficult situations in my daily life. Birthday blues is a deep-seated mental health issue, and it affects many people, many women that I know of, and specifically if you have history of dealing with depression or anxiety, then there's a high chance that you're going to be affected by birthday blues as well. Why do we get the birthday blues? My first reason is because of intergenerational and family traumas. So these are traumas and difficulties that you've inherited that are affecting you on a systemic and an epigenetic level. Basically, if you have history in your family that bring up painful memories and painful thoughts around birthdays, then you are going to be affected by this. I'll give you an example from my personal life. My parents are divorced. Around the time of my birthday, especially on my birthday, my mom was, without even wanting to be reminded of the fact that it didn't work out with my father. And I was supposed to be raised by both of them. They were both supposed to do it together, and now she was alone. So on my 8th, 9th, 10th birthday, she was constantly reminded of the fact that she's raising me alone. Another year has gone by in this kid's life when she had to pull all that weight alone. So there was a lot of anger and frustration in her, which would bubble just under the surface. Even though on the surface she was trying to put on a really happy birthday for me, underneath there was resentment and anger and pain from her own life story around my birth and the raising of her child, which is me. So I obviously could sense that I'm a highly sensitive person. So I obviously could sense that even without it being said, and I reacted to it. I acted out on my birthdays. All my photos from the age of 8 onward, I have a grumpy face and I'm not playing along and I'm not happy. I don't want to cut that cake. It starts in the family system, and then you are affected by it and you become a vehicle to express all that unrest that is existing in your family system, which comes up triggered by your birthday, that big day. The second reason why birthday blues happen is because you are remembering your past bad experiences. So contrary to what most other articles online talk about, what causes birthday blues is that you remember all the good birthdays you had, and then progressively birthdays aren't as good anymore because you're not a kid anymore. No one makes such a big fuss over you anymore. But I think that it actually happens because the older you get, you remember more and more the bad things that happened to you around your birthday. So as I mentioned before, for me at age 8, things started going downhill. It was my 8th birthday, and my father had come back into our lives, and he kind of sponsored a big birthday party. There was a big show made around me, and it was right around that time when he and my mom officially divorced on paper. My 8th birthday ended up being quite a traumatizing event for me. And from that birthday on, I couldn't have another experience of a birthday without remembering those bad things that happened. On my 28th birthday, for example, 20 years later, I had a horrible birthday, and only later, after reflecting, I realized that a lot of my past mistakes around relationships were coming up into my consciousness, or even subconscious, like that borderline between my subconscious and consciousness, where I was reliving all the past relationship mistakes I had made, and a lot of big romantic birthdays that I may have had in my early 20s, and me not behaving the way that I wanted to have behaved in those relationships, and hurting people that I was with in that time. And all that kind of came into my memory around my birthday. And what I ended up doing is I ended up breaking up at midnight as I was turning 28. So all those past regrets, all the past mistakes come back into your consciousness around your birthday, and that contributes to you feeling low and depressed around your birthday. The third reason why we feel terrible around our birthdays and get birthday blues is because we experience an overwhelming sense of loneliness. This is more and more prominent these days because we have developed a lifestyle where we move around, move away from our families, move away from the friends that we've grown up with. We're just such a global community right now, global people right now. Me, for example, I was born in Bangladesh, I grew up in Canada, and now I live in Switzerland with my husband. And my family is in Bangladesh, Canada, England, all over the place, and I am separated from them. So this feeling of loneliness that you might experience being separated from your family, the people you grew up with, can contribute to feeling depressed around your birthday. Another thing that contributes to this is the shallowness of our social network friends, the shallowness of our larger friend network, who do bombard you online with happy birthday messages on Facebook or whatever, but would they really be there for you to open up to if you were having a difficult time? Would any of these people be open and non-judgmental towards you if you said to them, hey, I'm struggling with depression? Would they actually be there for you, or would they be like, okay, what am I supposed to do with this information? So these truths become a bit more obvious around your birthday, and that leads to this feeling of loneliness, which makes us feel sad around our birthdays. Birthdays remind us that we are separate at the moment. We are experiencing separateness, and that causes us on a spiritual level to feel down, to feel like something is missing, to feel like I should be somewhere else, I should be in a different state, I should be closer to those that I love, to love itself. The fourth reason why we get the birthday blues is because birthdays are an anchor. It comes around every year. Our whole year is kind of anchored around this one day, and no matter what we do, you can't escape that day. It's coming. And what happens is it anchors in those feelings and experiences from all the past birthdays. So as we get older, these experiences and these heavy feelings just compound on top of each other. On your 30th birthday, you might be going through a specific crisis. Your 31st birthday comes around. Everything that has happened this year instantly gets added on top of all the things you experienced at the age of 30 and suddenly compounds. You don't have to go step by step to relive those traumas or difficult experiences or regrets. They're there instantly, and that causes us to feel anxious and depressed and just heavy, not being able to even emerge out of our feelings, our heaviness, to be open to friends who genuinely want to wish us and show us their love and concern on our birthdays. Finally, I'd like to share my personal story of how I got over my birthday blues using the power of family constellation therapy, at least for a couple of years. So I always had these birthday blues and I couldn't really explain it, why it was happening. I finally went to my therapist and we worked on this issue. What she uncovered is that not only did my birthday remind my mom of all her own failed expectations about how life would be raising me. She had expected to raise me together with my dad, but that didn't happen. Not only are we dealing with those disappointments, but it also reminded me of all my very, very early childhood traumas. My baby time traumas, my infant traumas, when my mom had to leave me home to go back to work when I was only a month old. These are extremely deep traumas that are embedded within us. They encoded into us because, you know, our infancy, the first couple of years of our life are so formative. So they imprint, every single experience imprints and shapes the trajectory of our entire life. So after having this family constellation therapy session, I was able to understand why I was feeling these sad feelings around my birthdays, why they were coming up again and again. And once I could see it, I could accept them, and then I could feel a sense of freedom from these heavy feelings. That led to me having the next 3 years of birthdays without having birthday blues, without birthday anxiety or birthday depression. Now my 39th birthday is coming up and the birthday blues are back. I'm trying to figure out what to do about it, and the one thing that I know helps always: when you're feeling helpless, help somebody else. So this is a philosophy, this is a quote I live by because it has helped me again and again and again, and I can offer this to you. When you're feeling helpless because for whatever reason, birthday blues or depression in general or any other circumstance, help somebody else. Find a way to extend yourself to somebody in a completely unexpected or unrelated way. It doesn't matter. This video is a way for me to try and help somebody else who might be experiencing depression or heaviness around their birthday and doesn't understand why. You are not alone. There's a whole bunch of us who are experiencing this, and we are working towards figuring out why and continuing on in our journey of life despite these difficult phases. If this video has helped you, please give it a like, because it helps it to reach other people who might need to hear this right now. If you have a friend whose birthday is coming up and you know they're not a birthday person, consider sending them this video. Consider sharing this video with them, because it just might help change their day. Finally, if you've also ever experienced birthday blues, please put it in the comment with what sex you are, whether you're male or female, whether you have a history of depression or anxiety, diagnosed or undiagnosed, because I'm really curious to know how many people are affected by this. There isn't that much research on birthday depression, and I would love to contribute to changing that. Finally, if you haven't already, please subscribe and check out my blog, thelifester.com, where I talk about much more related to mental health and fixing your relationships and the connection between the two. Thank you so much for watching. I love and appreciate you so much, and I'll see you next time.